All right. So I just got home, and it's interesting because like I went, I was first of all I just realized they did a DNS or denial of server attack or denial of service attack. I think it's denial of server or denial of service attack on my Capital One bank card. Thursday, I made a payment. Yeah, I made a payment Thursday, and I usually always pay on time or even earlier. As soon as I can make my first payment, I go ahead and pay it. And I'm looking and waiting. I'm trying to see like why haven't the money been taken? And then I'm like, I keep looking at my account, see the money still hasn't been taken. So then I go to my account finally today, and I look at it and it says return payment, and I'm like, why the hell did they return the payment? And then I'm like, they only would do something like that if, for whatever reason, on the bank side, things didn't get processed. And I've had this happen several times before, especially when I tried to pay like my T-Mobile bill, or if I was trying to make a transfer with, if I was trying to make a money transfer on Venmo. They would basically, it's a man in the middle attack. They basically are controlling the data traffic between my device and wherever I'm trying to send information to. So I realized that's what that was. They did a denial of service attack because I was gonna just. I'm glad I'm conscious about the money that I be having, and then conscious of the money that I spend, because I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why hasn't the money? Because it usually takes out the money like within the first day, like within the same day. Same thing. Like I was trying to pay money on my mother's card, and that was on Thursday too, and they still haven't taken the money out. Now I've already kind of like more than halfway willing to bank on the idea that they did a denial of service attack on that as well, because but I did that through the phone, so I don't know. It usually takes I don't know. This is the first time I made a payment on her card, so I don't know. They got a frequency going into my left kidney now. Let me see. It's coming from, yeah, it's coming from my phone. I have an iPhone SE, and it's coming from like the bottom of the phone where the speakers are. But I believe there's sensors built into the bottom of an iPhone SE too. But anyway, so yeah. It's definitely coming from. It's definitely coming from the phone. Cause when I reached behind my back just now, I pinched the frequency of where I felt it coming from, and then I pulled it around without letting it go, and then I just held it in front of the phone. And as I held it in front of the phone, I could feel these tiny little, like it feels like a little aggressive worm is trying to like wiggle itself through my fingers, like a little tiny worm trying to just wiggle itself aggressively in between my fingers. And it like my phone, my hand is like this is why I need another camera. Like my hand is literally just like like an inch away from the bottom of my phone, and I can feel these little tiny it's like little waves trying to press their way through my fingers. But anyway, so yeah, I think they're trying to disrupt my bill payment. So then, of course, they definitely have a what's the words I'm looking for? The slander campaign and the character assassination that they have, or the whatever, is that, he has no respect for money. He doesn't do nothing with money. All he does is spend money. But they don't never they don't ever say, oh, he at least pays his bills before he goes out and has fun with his money. I always pay my bills before I go out and have fun with it. Like, paying my bills first, that's how I know how much money I have to have fun with. That's how I operate. I pay my bills first, and I'm like, okay, what I have left, what can I do with it to, you know, take a load off, you know, from like a week of work or something like that, you know. Yeah, they're increasing the power now, because now they're increasing the power of the frequencies going into the kidney, because I'm still holding it. I wish you can see it. I really wish you can see it, because it's like on this side the frequencies are going through the thumb and the index finger, like right in between here. They're going through it and then coming out on this side. But I wish you could actually see it. Like I don't think you can see it that way. Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna find a device that'll allow me to see these frequencies, because they're operating extremely low frequencies, but it's not that many devices that operate in that bandwidth, because extremely low frequencies are anything that's from 3, I think it's like 3 to 30 hertz, and those are many of the vital frequencies that control several different facets of our you know, of our body. Like 2 hertz. 2 hertz is the frequency that you would play to stimulate healing of the nerves. 7 hertz is the frequency you would play to stimulate healing of the bones. I think it's 9.5 or 9.7. I think it's 9.5. 9.5 is either 9.5 or 9.7. That's the frequency you would play to stimulate healing of the ligaments. 13 point is 9.7. 13.5 is the frequency you would play to stimulate healing of the muscles. So it's like, ooh, I just got a chill. So it's like, I already know. So it's like, those are the extremely low frequencies that, you know, those are extremely low frequencies. So if they wanted to play those specific frequencies, but just amplify the power behind the frequency that's carrying the carrying frequency, just amplify the power, they can basically destroy the cells of your body. They can basically cause your cells to heat up to the point where they deteriorate, become cancerous, or just die altogether. Then what else? Yeah, like I was trying to figure out what I wanted to eat, and I'm not even gonna lie. I'm glad she don't watch my videos, but I'm like, yo, my girl does not cook. She knows I always like mess with her about not cooking, and cause she orders out all the time, and I mean, I I've never really been one to like place deliveries all the time, but I'll probably, like, I would go to a restaurant or a bar and I'll sit in and, you know, I'll probably spend my money that way, but I never really was that big on ordering out. Yeah, but I was also much more of a cooker though. Like I used to always like be inspired to cook certain things or whatever, depending on what I had a taste for. And yeah, I definitely, I'm not gonna say I lost it. What could they possibly be moving right now? That's the very same sound. Cause I'm like, they already did all this moving stuff, all this like, if you could probably hear the dragging and stuff upstairs. It's like, what could they possibly be moving right now? I don't know. I think people probably moved in upstairs. I always thought people was upstairs, but maybe upstairs was empty and then somebody finally moved in. But I don't know. They just keep doing all this dragging and stuff. But I'm not gonna really make a fuss about it now because it's daylight. So I'm fair enough to realize okay, you don't really make a complaint when it's like daytime. But if it's like late at night, like that one night where they was blasting music at like 1:30 in the morning, and they didn't decide to turn it off until it was Friday morning, blasting music after midnight all the way until 3 a.m. And that's when my alarm finally goes off. And I was just like, yo, I didn't really sleep at all. So sleep deprivation. But yeah. I don't know. Then on top of that, I'm also dealing with the handlers. I mean, I have to take what they take what they say into deep consideration, because I know that when the streets really think you a snitch, that's a code red. That's a code red. So it's like, in me, I don't feel like a snitch, because the reason why I don't feel like a snitch is because I always thought slavery, or human trafficking, or hell, even child child abuse, or I always thought that there were certain things that's supposed to just be dead wrong. Like it don't matter like how much money you making off of it. Like there are certain things you're supposed to it's just supposed to be no. We don't do that around here. I don't know. Maybe there's some OGs or whatever that probably might, feel the same way that I feel. Maybe there's some who's probably just thinking like, nah, but you just don't tell on other people. But the thing is, it's like, it's not just happening to me. It's not just happening in New York City. It's not just happening in New York State or America. It's happening all over the world. And it's still slavery. It's still human trafficking. It's still sex trafficking. It's still child porn. It's still espionage. It's still treason. It's still so many different things. But what? It gets a pass because it's done electronically? Just because I'm not taking my pinky and physically poking somebody, I don't know why I said the pinky to poke somebody in the eye. Just because I'm not poking my physical pinky into someone's eye doesn't make it's like, it doesn't mean that person's not gonna feel that pain. Because what are they doing? They're basically taking electromagnetic waves, stimulating the nerves so that you feel the pain. If you are taking light or sound energy and you stimulate the nerves, of a specific body part to feel pain, it's still pain. It's still pain. Like, and then I'm thinking about it like imagine a woman walking down a supermarket aisle and well, I don't know what they're laughing about, outside. I'm not even paying that no mind. But I'm just thinking, imagine a woman walking down a supermarket aisle just doing shopping. Then all of a sudden she gets the sensation of a penis inserting into her vagina and then causing her to feel sexual arousal. But of course that's uncomfortable because she doesn't know what it is. Or she doesn't know who it is that's doing it. Just because there isn't a person physically doing it to her doesn't mean it's not wrong. And it's like, imagine having someone have access to your body for 24 hours, 7 days a week. At any given point in time that person want to, I guess, get their rocks off by stimulating her so then they could get, have an orgasm or something like that. They could do it at any given time whenever they feel like it. Now, I know that, like, if it was any other situation, let's say if it was a real life situation where someone, one of these people out here claiming to be a part of the Secret Service, if one of the mothers, daughters, sisters, whatever, aunties, cousins got snatched up by somebody out here in the street too, and then they got physically raped or something, it would be on and popping. It would be on. They would have the whole crew, they would have the whole fam, everybody would be looking for this person trying to do something to that person. But it's okay because it's only being done electronically. It's only electrical stimulations. It's not actually happening to you. That's their thing for saying that it's for going through with it. That's their thing that makes them feel good about what they're doing, because no one is physically having something done to them, but there's so much more involved to it. Just because the physical body, this is when you realize people have no respect for spiritual energy or psychological health. They have no respect for it. All they respect is blood, money, and violence. That's all they respect is blood, money, violence. Blood, money, violence. Blood, money, violence. That's all they respect. They don't respect life. They don't respect, well, forget about privacy. Forget about piracy. They hacked your brain. So it's like, forget about privacy. But like, they have no respect. And then they got the nerve to be talking about, oh, he has no respect for women. What? Because when I'm riding down a bike, when I'm riding down the street on my bike or whatever, if I see a nice looking woman down the street, I'm thinking in my head, oh, she look good. I'm thinking it. I'm not even saying it to her. I'm thinking it. And they're going to take that and say, oh, he has no respect for women. Oh, he sexualized everybody. But then I also realized too that they have programs. Wait, that was something I was supposed to be on earlier. I was supposed to mention that. I'm glad I said that word. So programs, I realized, imagine you code up, I don't know how to code, but whatever. Imagine you code up a stack, right? And you code up, okay, you want this person to, anytime this person sees a woman, the first emotion that's generated out of that person's mind is arousal, right? Now let's just take it a step further. Let's say if they wanted to just change it to where if you see a female in general, whether it's a woman or a little girl, they can program it so that when you see just a woman in general, or if they want to just make it so that you're sexually aroused by everyone, they'll do it that way. Like the moment you see somebody, they will code it up so that the emotional response when you see someone is sexual arousal. So then when you do see someone, it's like already programmed, and then that program is basically like it's like a constant running. Every time I do this, I feel like I get a little dizzy. So like that right there, there's a frequency going into my memory. And every time I do that, it's like interfering with the wave or whatever. I don't know. I always wonder sometimes if I could actually match the wave, because it's like, all right, let me see. So in between my middle finger and my index finger, yeah, I have the frequency. It inserts into here. It inserts into here, but it sources from somewhere else. But remind you what I told you about your energy field. Your energy field has all the frequencies to your body. So when they hack your energy field, they done hacked it from probably all the way out here. And then whenever they want to send specific commands or stimulations or whatever, it's almost as if like it goes to wherever that specific spot is for that specific frequency. Like let's say if they wanted to attack your left kidney, somewhere on your aura, like back here is the frequency for your right kidney. So then it would come from here, and then you will feel the energy beam kind of go right into your kidney that way. How same thing with the left, because right now my left one, I got a frequency going to the left. So if I were to pinch, let me see. If I were to pinch, let me see. Okay, I have a frequency. If I were to pinch like I did just now, and it's in between my index finger and my thumb, and as I push back while without letting it go, I could feel this dense pressure pushing against my hand. But it's like a dense energy pushing against my hand, but then a smaller energy is trying to squeeze in between my index finger and my thumb, and then it attaches into the kidney. One of these days, everything is going to be exposed, and then what's going to happen is the world is going to realize the monsters that we thought were monsters were probably nothing compared to the people who can do monstrous things every day and make themselves look as normal as possible every day. You know, think about it. These people are trained killers and psychopaths and rapists. What you see on the news is probably nothing compared to what they're doing in the metaverse or the digital world. Because in that world, they can do anything. Like in that world, they are doing any and everything. They're doing any and everything in that world. And they don't got to worry about no DNA traces. They don't got to worry about nobody seeing. Even if you see their face, they're just going to deny it because they're just going to be like, how can you prove it? It's digital. Or they probably, I don't know. They probably won't even say all that. They'll just say, I don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy. Radio frequencies. With all these intelligence agents, and it's like the intelligence agencies they know, but they're all a part of, they all have been infiltrated by the secret government or the deep state and whatever, or just secret societies altogether. They're all a part of it. I just keep wondering though. I just keep wondering, like, are there any good people left in government at all? Like, are there any good people still left? And it's like TIs, we just feel like we're alone in this because we're the only ones that's going through what we're going through. You know? And then the secret society people, they're all just like, ha ha ha, look at him, he's so stupid, da da da. And then it's funny because they always be like, he's so stupid, or he don't know how to do anything properly. That's with them not mentioning how much damage they already caused to your cognitive functions, how much energy they already focused into they already burn, how much energy they use to burn away at your memory. There's so many different factors that they created just so that, at some point when you are trying to function in the world, you're looking as if you're experiencing a cognitive decline. But that's really what's happening, is they're actually causing many of the changes physically that's happening because of the light and sound energies that they're using to resonate and destroy the cells and tissues in your body. But I believe that I don't know if in my generation, they constantly keep telling me, Chris, you're not going to be here for long. The streets is actually looking to do something to you. And I'm just like, well, I already know what I got myself into, or what I was getting myself. Once I realized like back in 2020, once I realized what gang stalking truly was, and what, they would always call themselves secret society. They would never really mention a name. They would just always say secret society. We're a secret society. It would just always be secret society. So it's like, they wouldn't say they would just say secret society. So it's like that's already kind of like lingo for a hive mind. That's already lingo for a hive mind. I wonder if I were to actually look up a type of virus, or maybe if I could actually think of, I don't know, I always kind of wondered, could you actually think of a virus and then transmit it into the cloud and then see what happens to the system? Like, could this system actually be disrupted by a virus created with a person's mind? Like, I don't know how to code, but if I wanted to code a virus that can basically, I don't know, disrupt a whole cloud server, like, could I just transmit? Like, if I were to look at the code and think it and then just really amplify the thought, and then because remember, the AI is constantly decoding our brainwaves. So if the AI is always constantly decoding, then what if I were to look at the coding of a virus, and then it decodes it, and it actually accidentally registers that virus into its system? I don't know. Well, maybe that's not how viruses work. I don't know, but I don't know. That's interesting though. I mean, I still like the idea of getting a signal jammer and placing that in my home, and then try to see how many of the frequencies it could probably jam, so that I'm not feeling any pain anymore, or any cognitive blockings or whatever. I don't know. But yeah. But programs, man. I realize these programs, they're all constantly flowing to your brain, and I think I think many of the programs are triggered by maybe sounds or people or images, or could be colors or words. Each specific frequency each program probably has a specific frequency, and then so what I would probably say is like, okay, I noticed at some point where I try to practice neutrality, or just the thought of just being neutral, where you're not allowing yourself to be too excited or underexcited about anything. You're just always in that neutral. You're in a gray. You're just like, it's like you're not sad, but you're not happy. You're just neutral. You're just in the gray. And I realized when I practice neutrality, there will be moments where, like, let's say here's a good one. Let's say if I'm walking, if I'm about to go to a Subway's, and then the moment I see a guy standing by the door, see, there's the memory frequency now, because anytime I try to remember something, it's like the power gets amplified into that that section of the brain, so the frequency starts going even crazy. It starts going harder, but then it gets hotter, and then the pressure builds up on the side of my head. Let's say I see a guy standing by the 7-Eleven door. I know what he's there for. He's there to open a door, and then when you come out, he asks you for some change. Um, what they would do is, let's say if I'm at that present time practicing neutrality, if I'm practicing being neutral, and I see him, and I'm consciously deciding that I'm not going to have any emotion towards the side of him. If I don't develop an emotion, if I don't produce the emotion or the thought of the side of him, if I don't produce it, they will send it. They'll send it like a transmission. And then that transmission would then and then it's interesting because when you practice neutrality, you practice actually not having any emotion about anything. You feel everything around you even more. You feel the emotions of others. You feel the energy coming from devices. You feel energy even more just from practicing neutrality. So I realized, if I see the person and I don't have a specific impulse about the person that I see, I could literally feel the rushing flow of the energy coming into my aura, or maybe probably developing in the aura. Then it's like probably developing like on this part of the aura, and then it like comes in. I could feel the energy, and then whatever it is that I do when I'm practicing neutrality, it's almost as if I'm blocking out. Yeah, I want to say blocking out external stimuli, but the problem is, well, right now it's hard for me to block external stimuli because of what they have going on up here. Up here, there's a lot of energy right here. And all the energy at the top of my head feels like it's going up. Like it's all going up this way. Like it's like a bunch of different frequencies, and it's all going up. Like I am being uploaded. Like all of my neural activities in my brain are being uploaded. And then I used to be able to try to close it off, but what they did was they found the frequency of whatever that is that I used to close off. I don't know if I used to be able to maybe just power down electrical activity in the brain in the midsection or something. I don't know what I used to do, but it used to feel like closing a valve, or closing it was like closing a sliding door, and nothing would get through, nothing would go out, or nothing would come in. What they did was they found the resonant frequency of whatever it was that I was doing, and they made it so that it's always open and that there's always a constant flow of energy going either in or out of my brain. So it's like now it's like 5 times harder to try to think about closing it, and I can't close it. It's like I'm trying as hard as I can to focus on closing whatever that is. It's like that same feeling you get like when you're trying to read a book in a noisy environment and you're trying to block out the external sounds, and you're just trying to focus on your voice, your inner voice reading the book. It's that same feeling when you block out something. But for the life of me, I can't close it off anymore because they have this frequency that's like basically keeping it open. And now there's like all these frequencies and energy coming out of my brain and going into the cloud, I guess. Let me see. Yeah, there's like so many frequencies. It's like it's like all around. Yeah, it's like it's huge, and it made me think like I think there's a video game or a show where let's say people are walking down the street. Let's say I'm walking down the street, right? Think augmented reality. Think augmented reality. Let's say I'm walking down the street, right? To them, let's say I don't know exactly what it looks like, but this is just me assuming this is probably what it looks like. There is all kinds of digital information over your entire body, and probably digital information above you. Because we're talking about augmented reality. We're talking about light that you can't see, light that you can't see with your naked eye. But if you were to hold a phone up in front of that very same space, you would probably see like think Pokemon Go. You know, if you're like looking at this wall and you don't see anything, but then you hold up the Pokemon Go app, on your phone, and all of a sudden you see a Pokemon jumping on your wall. That's literally what it is. That's literally what it's like. But for them, it's like 24/7. They have already changed so many factors, so many things about their life, and the spectrum of light that they can see, and I guess the spectrum of sound that they can hear. And trust me, these transhumanists have been doing it for a while. They have been doing it for a while. But yeah, so it's like that, and I think what they do as far as with thoughts and everything, it's like imagine as far as with like thoughts and things, it's like imagine having like a little picture screen above your head, and then like everything that you see or every thought that you have is basically on this screen. You don't know that there's a screen there, but there's something there. Because every time people who are already augmented look at you, they always look at you as if they're reading something or watching something. They're not necessarily looking at you in particular, they're looking at the data. They're looking at the data, the visual data. I don't know, like I know it's all in radio frequencies and microwaves and things of that sort. So it's like I just have to be patient with this, because I know after I finally got my hands on Project Soul Catcher, I'm pretty sure at some point I'm going to be able to find a way to explain all of this stuff to a T, and then even include some extra stuff with what I have learned from the book. But yeah, I'm trying to just manage myself the best that I can, and I got got like a good portion of New York City hating me because I'm against human trafficking by any means. I'm against child abuse and child pornography by any means. I'm against slavery by any means. Yeah. So I don't know. We gonna see. So for now, as always, take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Peace.